So now we're at the final step of Module 3. You've found your supplier, you've added your listing using the quick setup method with the video just before this, so you have a listed product on Amazon, which we're going to completely optimize in Module 4. You've just added it there so you can do this step. So you're going to tell your supplier, once your supplier has the design and your supplier is ready to ship out your product. Some people it may take a little longer, some people it'll be fast. So we want to make sure you're able to do this as soon as the supplier is ready. Is when they're ready to ship out the product, most people, if they're not familiar with selling to a Amazon entrepreneur such as yourself, somebody tapping into opportunities on Amazon, they're pretty used to sending products to probably somebody's office or somebody's warehouse or somebody's even house or something like that. But in this case, they're going to be sending the products directly to Amazon's warehouses. So a lot of people these days are really familiar with this because Amazon's such a big place. A lot of suppliers already know how to do this. If they don't know how to do this, it's very, very simple. It's something that they can do even if they've never done it before, just by giving them some basic instructions, which will be provided below this video so that you can send them directly to the supplier. So here's how to prepare an FBA shipment so that you can have your supplier send your inventory directly to Amazon. So the purpose of this lesson and action step, mainly so the supplier can send the inventory directly to FBA. You don't need a third-party fulfillment company. You don't need to do any of your own fulfillment. You'll save a lot of hassle, time, and money and everything else using FBA. So you want your supplier to send your inventory directly to FBA. And it generates you two PDFs to email to your supplier. The first PDF you'll get is a packing slip. This goes inside of the box or boxes, depending on how much inventory you order, that your supplier is going to ship to Amazon. So the packing slip goes inside of there, so that when Amazon's warehouse staff opens your box, they know exactly what's in the box and what's supposed to be inside the box. The second thing you're going to get is a shipping label. This is a shipping label that goes on the outside of the box. Now it's a UPS shipping label if you use Amazon shipping. So the supplier then hands the box off to UPS. But if you're using a supplier that doesn't ship using UPS or can't ship using UPS, you can either schedule a UPS pickup at their facility or just use whatever shipping method they do use, because you don't have to use UPS. And I'll show you how to do that, how to use any shipping method you want inside of the example you're about to see right now. So to send inventory to Amazon and prepare an FBA shipment, all you do is log into your Seller Central account, then go to Inventory, Manage FBA Inventory. You just click on that. I'm already on that screen though. Once you do that, you're just going to go find your product. If you're new to selling on Amazon, you're only going to have one product. All you're going to do is look for that product in here, click the checkbox next to it, and then click Send and Replenish Inventory. You can select other things from this drop down, but for now you're just going to leave Send and Replenish Inventory selected. So you checked your box, and then all you do is click Go. So then once you're on this screen, the only thing you need to change for now is how will you be packing your items for shipment. You're always going to want to select case packed items. That's really going to simplify things. So then whenever case packed items is selected, you notice that these two columns appeared. So units per case, this is basically the number of units in a box that you'll be shipping. You'll need to get this information from your supplier. So for example, if you ordered 25 units, and you only ordered, that's all you ordered, but they can fit all 25 units in one box, you do 25 units per case, one case, as you can see, total units 25. This should equal the total number of units you're selling. On the other hand, if you ordered 50 units, but those 50 units have been split into two boxes, both containing 25 units, units per case, still 25, number of cases, 2. See, this is calculated. Your total number of units is 50. So I'm going to leave this as 1, but you'll need to get this information from your supplier to be able to prepare your FBA shipment, but you're just going to enter the number of units in a box and the number of boxes, and that's all you do, and then click Continue. Then on this screen may or may not pop up for you. Remember when I told you you're setting up your Amazon listing, you're just doing a quick setup. So whenever you do a quick setup, you didn't necessarily enter all the information you needed to enter to create the product. So Amazon may need you to enter something else. If you don't know the exact dimensions, I mean, you want to try to get them from the supplier, but as long as you're roughly right, it'll be fine. Trust me, it'll be fine. So enter whatever you think is the closest amount if you can't get the exact dimensions. So I'm just going to make up some numbers here because this is a fictitious product. So I'm just going to say 2 by 2, 2 by 5 by 2, units, inches, and click Save and Continue. So then on this screen, depending on how many units you're shipping and how Amazon wants these sent out, you may have multiple shipments here. That's no problem. All you're going to do is click Save and Continue and keep going. Now, if you only have one shipment, you click Save and Continue and you only have to prepare one shipment. If you have multiple shipments, you'll have to go through the steps I'm about to show you a couple times or just once, but one time per shipment here. So don't worry about this. All this means is that Amazon is splitting your inventory between multiple warehouses. I wouldn't mess around with it. Just let them split it however they want. If they want multiple shipments, that's perfectly fine. Just click Save and Continue. So then on this screen is where you would see multiple shipments again, each having their own Work on Shipment button. So then there's only one shipment here, so I'm only going to have to do this once. If there are multiple shipments, you're going to click Work on Shipment multiple times just to complete each FBA shipment. So just going to click Work on Shipment. And now it's time to basically get the FBA items you need. So this first screen just says the same information you already know, 25 units per case, number of cases 1. Then you're just going to click Save and Continue. Now this is something you don't need to worry about right now. What Amazon is saying here is they're going to charge a little bit of money to label your own items. What you can do, which I recommend you not worrying about right now just because it'll complicate things, is if you want to label this item yourself, what you can do is have your designer put an FBA barcode, basically just a little graphic image. You can have them put an FBA barcode on your actual product packaging or label. And what that'll do is that'll skip this label fee. But right now, honestly, do not mess around with that. Just pay Amazon's little fee. It's not a big deal, and this will just simplify things for right now. You can worry about doing that later on. I didn't do it for literally over a year or two in my business. I didn't start doing this. I just recently started doing this. Not a big concern. Yeah, it costs a little bit of money, but really it's going to save you some time right now just to avoid it. So just going to click continue on this screen. So here's where you can decide whether or not you want to use UPS, Amazon's partnered carrier, or whatever carrier you want. Now, I recommend, if possible, using UPS, but if you're shipping products from overseas, for example, or some suppliers, they may or may not use UPS. So you want to ask your supplier if it's okay if you give them a prepaid UPS label. If not, then you'll need to use another carrier. So if you use UPS, all you do is select this and click Save and Continue. Now over here, small parcel delivery, just leave that selected. Don't mess with that. We're not going to be less than truckload. We're not going to be worrying about that right now, or ever, most likely. But either way, so if you're using UPS, if you just want to use Amazon's rates, which are extremely discounted, as you can see, deeply discounted ground shipping, that's fine. If you want to use a different carrier, all you do is select Other Carrier. You can use DHL, Federal Express, UPS, USPS, or Other. This basically just means that you're going to basically pay for your own tracking. Now, when you do that, I'm not going to walk through that example all the way right now because it's not that much different. The only difference when you do that is obviously you have to buy your own shipping outside of Amazon, but then Amazon is not, obviously, because they didn't prepare your shipping, they're not going to send you a full shipping label for you to put on the outside of the box. They're just going to give you another PDF, which is just a small little piece of paper that's going to go on the outside of your box, in addition to whatever shipping label you use with the other carrier. So on the outside of the box, there's going to be whatever carrier shipping label. For example, you may have a DHL shipping label you put on the outside of the box, and then put the other piece of paper, or have your suppliers obviously doing all this. They're going to just tape or stick the Amazon, basically it's a shipment tracker on the outside of your box in addition to that other one. Now, I'll send you below this video, you'll see instructions on what to send to your suppliers so they can do all this automatically, but just letting you know what that is. Both shipments, you're going to get a packing slip that's going to go inside of each box, but if you're using the UPS method, the one that we're about to go through, you'll get a full shipping label to put on the outside of the box. But if you're using the other method, the other carrier method, then you'll obviously be purchasing your own shipping outside of Amazon, and you'll need to stick that other little shipping tracker thing on the outside of the box as well. So for this example, we're going to go with Amazon Partnered Carrier. So right now on this screen, all you're doing is entering the number of packing slips. Now, I don't know why they give you multiple packing slips. I guess if you just want them, but really all you need is to take this number up here. If it's one case, For example, you may have, say maybe you ordered 5 cases and they're split between 2 different shipments. One shipment has 3 cases, one shipment has 2 cases. Either way, this would either say 2 cases or 3 cases, depending on what Amazon has put into this shipment. So all you're going to do is take this number. It's 1 case, so you're just going to enter 1 there. If this was 2, you'd enter 2 there, and then click Print Packing Slips. What this is going to do is this going to give you a PDF that you're going to want to save to your computer, and it's going to be one of the items you're going to email to the supplier. So all you do that, click Print Packing Slip. It's going to give you a PDF, save that to your computer, and get ready to send it to your supplier, but wait until we have the shipping label as well. Then you're going to click Continue. Now here's the next bit of information you need to get from your supplier. You want to ask them what is the weight of each box that they're preparing for your inventory. So if you have one box, as in this case, one box of 25 units, just want to ask them what the weight of that is. Because all you're going to need to do is plug that in here. So maybe it's 10 pounds or something like that. And then here, you don't ever have to enter the dimensions. They have it here for you. If you want to enter them, you can, but you don't need to. It's not required. Weight is required. You need to enter the weight of the shipment. So all you do is enter that here, and that's it. So you need to find that out from your supplier. What does each box weigh? They should be able to tell you this. Should be no problem because they have to know it themselves. So you just enter that weight here. If there's multiple boxes, you'll need to enter the weight of each box here. Most of the time, it's going to be the exact same number, but either way, you enter the weight there and click Get Cost Estimate. So then on this screen, basically what you're doing is you're allowing Amazon to purchase shipping for you because you're getting a real live UPS shipping label. So all you're going to do is click I authorize. This cost is going to be cheaper than you'd ever be able to get UPS on your own for, in this case, a 10-pound box. Either way, this is going to be cheaper than you'll ever see it. For example, I've seen 60-pound boxes be, less than 20 bucks. I mean, it's insane. You'll never be able to get those rates from UPS. This is why, if possible, you want to use Amazon's shipping partnered carrier, which is UPS, doing this method. Either way, you're just going to click I authorize Amazon to charge the shipping amount to my FBA account, and then, it's perfectly fine. Then you click accept charges and continue. So after Amazon authorizes them, all it does is give you a shipping cost summary, lets you know what you did, and then you just click continue again. So then on this screen, this is the only other thing you'll need to print out. This is your actual shipping label. So all you're going to do is print this, and it'll automatically give you enough copies to cover all of your cases. So in this case, it was only 1 case, but you may have multiple boxes. Either way, this will give you however many you need, and you just send this one file to the supplier in addition to however many packing slips you have. So then that'll really be it. You just print this, save this to your computer, and you're pretty much ready to send those items to your supplier. Then once that's done, you just click continue and complete shipment. And that's it. This shipment is ready to go. You'll send those 2 items to your supplier. You can use the instructions below this video to provide to your supplier so they know exactly how to do that. And that's really it. You can click mark as shipped if you want. Once you know your supplier shipped this, you can click mark as shipped. This doesn't really affect anything. It just makes it easier for you to track what's going on inside of your Seller Central account. So you can click that when it's done. Not a requirement, but you can, and that's really it. So then you email those 2 things to your supplier, and your supplier will then be able to ship out your products, your inventory directly to Amazon's warehouses, and then you'll know when your product is received because if you go back to that same screen, inventory, then manage FBA inventory, you'll see that your inventory will be in stock and available for you. So that's it, and go ahead and do this right now. Create your first FBA shipment as soon as your supplier is ready. You obviously need to get those few pieces of data. Whenever your supplier is ready to ship out your product, you'll want to go ahead and do this.